About the game, first of all, I must say that this is massive 3 points. And until we opened their lock, it was a 50-50 game without possession, only transition. They had one wave of 5 minutes when they push us into our 18 meters. But it was totally useless possession because they didn't create nothing. And after that, 3 minutes after that, my technical team and me, we made a sub central defender for central forward, 5-4-1. We didn't park the bus, we parked the train in front of their goal post. And 2-0, massive point, 3 points. I don't know how we are going to push those 3 points into the bus. I don't know, is bus big enough to receive those 3 points?
You've been waiting, you've been anticipating. This is the right moment. Monday Live. Yes, we know there are a lot of choices when it comes to football updates, but we bring it to you from a Caribbean perspective, from your team standings, action highlights to the in-depth analysis. This is the right show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us this evening as we bring to you Monday Live, the return of FNB Premiership from the international break after 2 weeks of international break. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to the FNB Premiership. We'll take a look at some of the highlights from the week 23 of the FNB Premiership. A lot of talking points from the Mochudi Centre Chiefs, as well as the Tafi game that was happening at Gaborone United Stadium that is under floodlights. There was a penalty that was given. We will take you through that penalty if it was a spot-on decision by the referee or it was not the right call. We'll also take a look at the offside call, whether it was an offside or not offside. We'll also take you through some of the goals that were scored on the day. That is the two teams sharing the spoils in a 2-all draw. But before we can get to those talking points, let me introduce to you the gentleman joining me today on the show. It is none other than Katson Toko, who's right here today on the show to come and take us through some of the talking points from the week 23 of the FNB Premiership. Katso,
thanks for having me. How are you, man?
I'm all right. Are you good?
I am good. It's a good evening, yeah?
It is a good evening. It was a good weekend.
It is. Good football moments. I will talk about that, obviously.
Good goals as well.
Yes.
Zeni, let me also take this opportunity to welcome you to Monday Live.
Thank you for the invite, and I hope I'm going to be of an impactful input in this show.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And I want us, before we can even get to the FNB Premiership as it returned over the weekend, that is after the 2 weeks of the international break, just go through the match day 5 and 6 of the FIFA World Cup African Qualifiers, where the Zebras featured in those games. That is between Somalia as well as Algeria, and take a look at how the standings looks like after that is match day 5 and 6 of the Africa FIFA World Cup Qualifiers, where Botswana was able to amass 3 points from the 2 games. We were edged out by Algeria in the first game. Remember, we were able to win the second game, that is against Somalia at Francistown or Obeditani Chulume Stadium. Your thoughts of the Zebras' performance from these 2 games? That's all.
I think Zebras did very well the second game after the loss here, Algeria. The game was open in Algeria, if I remember well. We could have done much better that game. Because of the continuity within our team, the captain was not there. It's already thing. But I think from where I was standing, I think he has a lot to give the country. I saw a different ball game. Game ya rona bobedi go Francistown where we won. lots of long balls to stretch play there and there. And you could see now players, they played with the right intensity, they played with the right character. The captain was back. So such things we need to work on as a country. We will move forward.
Before I can even go to Zini, you always talk about players showing up. And in this instance, I want us to talk about the character of the players. Match with Algeria. Did we show character in that game, or we lacked match temperament?
I think because of the tactics and trends of where football is right now, you look at that game in most cases when we attack, we structure as a 4-2-4, of which we saw lots of the ball now who's collecting the second ball, the laziness of player there and there, but I think 2 or 3 players were there in the game. Skebo was there. He was collecting those second balls, and Orobonyi played very well. When he's holding the position, but he was there in the whole time. He was able to collect the balls in between the lines, and which is impactful, because now you have numbers. When that ball is traveling, you have numbers, because you have line of 4. You see now Skebo is coming. They are all of the line of 4. They are coming to support him now. We can combine and then create a goal scoring opportunity.
Your thoughts, Zeni, that is in match day 5 as well as match day 6 that we won against Somalia?
I remember like when match day 5, a lot of people were talking about because you remember there were more Ramadan and then you can go to Basaji, and Eva Helava Yellow 3-1. There was a point where we were coming back into the game, and when we scored that goal, when it was 2-1, and we thought we were coming back into the game, and somehow we concentration lapse, and then they ended up scoring immediately from the restart. Setback we really brought the fight to them. It's not like it was just a walkover. Looking at Algeria how match day 6 but Mozambique 5-1. They score a lot of goals, but 3-1. 3 points was made at the end of the day, but match day 6 we managed to win our game 2-0. We make sure we position 3. We stand that chance our team 3 points, team 9 points. We still have that chance. At least maybe you can get a position 2. The 4 teams the playoff.
But in terms of performance, are we getting there? The Zebras is the same play lens or in rates
a problem is thing and we tell 2 steps going forward, and then going backwards. Camping match day 5 you don't expect them go the national team setup. I thought we were over that by this time.
Yes, because Mauritania, and we are told that was the last time. But it happened prior to the game is when it's about Algeria.
And this is just last year.
And this is just last year, Mauritania.
Yeah.
But looking at the table, as you have already mentioned, whenever the last spot in that is the playoff spot in number 2 or best second placed teams the group 9 out for the only remaining spot in the 10 teams the World Cup. Do you still have the chances to finish within those top 2 positions? That is the first position as well as the second position.
Yes, the group is still open for Yagana. I'm still set against Algeria. They scored.
Should have done better.
Nothing in the game.
You should have done better.
Remember, you still went to play Algeria at home.
Yes, and I think we can grab something out of them at home.
How are you going to get a victory away from home while we failed?
We did that to Egypt.
This is Algeria.
Yes.
The World Cup qualifiers. No one wants to miss that opportunity.
Exactly. Algeria already they are a step ahead. I mean, almost there. Yeah. So they will not have much to lose in this game, and they don't have much that they want more than we do.
Gentlemen, what do we need to do in effort to get the maximum points against Algeria at home? Is that even possible?
It is possible.
How?
It should start from the office. It should start from the office management. The zebras, they should go and sit down and then we all know these are facts. How do we lose our captain, national captain? How do we lose him for an important game?
International player for that matter.
It's a mess, you see. It's a mess. At some point, game winner 2-0. Some players the body language, it's wrong. It's wrong. Someone was not happy.
Was he not happy, or it was just
frustration?
Yeah, frustration.
Give a hand.
Substitute way far from the bench, so he has to just get out to So you think it was he was not happy?
These guys are professionals.
Yes, they know.
They know this. They've been there. They are playing there.
And he needs to motivate the incoming player.
The incoming player, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. But I want us to talk about this, because you are saying you can get a victory against Algeria away from home, something I think is going to be very difficult. What should be the approach there?
The biggest mistake that we may make is that we need to get a victory against Algeria. We may not need that victory against Algeria, but beat the other teams that we are playing with Momo Group. If you can beat some of these teams that Ronaldo and Momo Group, we can stand that chance to qualify after Algeria. We don't necessarily need a win against Algeria. We need to win other games. We need to win these games.
Against Algeria for us to get a win. Do we go for a low block and try to catch them on counter?
Oh yes, there you are right.
We can't go all out.
To frustrate them. We saw it happening and
against Egypt.
A relevant example, a good example. Mamelodi Sundowns. They've been doing very well against North Africans. You know why? Remember Pizzo. You remember the time when they took the African Championship. They were playing a low block and they played lots of long balls. They were running, they were sweating. I remember they were using the fullbacks to go and bring in the crosses. Counter-attack football.
Exactly.
Direct football. Yes. Verticality. That's all we need.
Let me just remind you of Coach Moranaramo Rebudi's assignment when he was appointed as head coach of the Zebras. He was tasked to collect at least a minimum of 16 points in World Cup qualifiers. He had 18 at that moment before playing the two matches against Algeria as well as Somalia. Number two, now he has 15 more points that are left for him because he lost the other game to Algeria and winning against that is Somalia. And the other task was to take the Zebras beyond the 2025 group stages that is beginning, that is the Africa Cup of Nations that is beginning later this year in December, and also to improve the FIFA rankings where he took from 145, he needs to improve from 145 and maybe a few steps down, and also win the 2025 COSAFA. So that is the some of the tasks for Moranarabo Rebudi when he was appointed the Zebras coach. Is that possible for him to get one of those?
Yes, I think he's a knowledgeable coach. I think he has it in him. I think if he can bring the right people close to him, so that they can work with him, because he's I love how he sees the game. He can read the game, and he's able to use the right players for different games. So I think now he has a chance now to look at what is happening now. He needs to look those games.
Well, this is how Group G looks like after match day 5 as well as match day 6. It is Algeria still at the summit of the table, 15 points on position 2. It is Mozambique with 12 points, whereas Botswana, we are on position 3 with 9 points. Uganda is on position 4 with 9 points also, and Guinea on position 5 with 7 points. And Somalia still rooted at the bottom of the table with a single point. They are yet to win a game in these qualifiers. So it remains to be seen how the group will end. Remember, there are only 4 games remaining for these qualifiers, and top 9 teams from all the 9 groups will automatically qualify for the World Cup, with the second best placed teams, 4 second best placed teams across all the 9 groups, tussling it out. That is in the playoffs, and the winner of those playoffs will join the 9 teams to the 2026 World Cup. We're going to take a short break. When we return, we take a look at the week 23 of the FNB Premiership. So much to talk about, from the goals to all the key points, that is the talking points of the incident that happened at all the games over the weekend, from Tapik as well as Mochudi Centre Chiefs to Gaborone United against Security System. All that coming up in just a moment.
Stars of the show. Selling Wilson from that I can tell from my friend. Selling Wilson from that I can tell from my friend. Selling Wilson from that I can tell from my friend. Selling Wilson from that I can tell from my friend. Selling Wilson from that I can tell from my friend.
Monday, the week 23 of the FNB Premiership returned over the weekend. So much to talk about from the week 3, or rather week 23 of the FNB Premiership, where we've seen the top 4 now. Very interesting, going into the last 8 games of the FNB Premiership. Also, the battle for relegation also intensifies with only 8 matches left. Here is what the coaches had to say about the week that was.
Yeah, well, I know Traffic. I know how they play. I think everybody else knows how they play. They can't build. They don't build up. They always try to go vertical and try to play the second ball, because they have big boys who can fight for the first ball. And we try to deal with that very well. And also, they're very difficult with their throw-ins. They have very good long throws. And we did our homework as well against that. And I'm glad we did not. Those didn't give us a problem. But on hindsight, also, I thought we didn't play as good as we normally do. Our retention air ball wasn't good today. I don't know whether the lefts were there and so on and so forth. But otherwise, for me, it's a point end than 2 points lost.
We try to use more semi-spaces, to use our wing backs, to add one extra player on the flanks, and to search for these zones between their lines, because they played in low block, and it's not easy if 9 or 10 players behind ball line. So I think that tactical plan was good, but we missed a lot. We missed a lot. If we scored some of these chances in first half, I think that result will be far different.
The plan, you can't play this team with an open gameplay. We have to wait for them, and after waiting for them, when we win the ball, we need to play quicker. A forward pass need to go forward. Like I was saying, the forward pass that we could have done it correctly, it's the one that was letting us down. But there are some instances that we could have had them. Like I said, it wasn't coming up. So it's something that we can still go back and correct.
It's a good atmosphere for football. The players, they get encouraged with fans. If fans are screaming outside, the players get more energy. So I think this is a good pitch. The supporters are closer to the pitch, which is very good for football. But my worry is the refereeing. The standards of refereeing in Botswana is getting low every game. From where I was sitting, just a contact, then penalty. But football is a game of contact. It's a game of contact. So if there's no contact in football, then which type of sport are we playing? So in my view, the referees they took 2 points away from us.
This is kind of trademark. Everyone knows, whole team knows what Magoro is going to do, where Serati is going to be, but nobody cannot resist that. That is similar situation that whole team knows where Boy is going to be and where Totso is going to be, but nobody can stop them. So that is our trademark. So I wouldn't go deeper into details, but 72% of goals we scored like that.
16 goals that were scored from match day 23 of the FNB Premiership, with the Swa Flamingos getting a big victory against the Township Rollers, a big 3 points. That is what Nicola Cavasovic said in his post-match interview. Big 3 points.
Yo e leng gore a re ipotsa gore wa go motsenya mo baseng gore a morwala a lebe ka ene go sua mo gore o nonne tota 3 points kana ile wa lebela 3 points yo ga se 3 points hela ke against my former employers as Cavasovic ibile at the same time o ba ha sebaka sa gore le bone ba lole the league ba o lebella kana da at 39 points the question 6 mo gore they just 6 points adrift mo gore they still have that chance. 8 games to go. Out the top 7 Premiership still stands a chance to win the championship. Yes.
You share the same sentiment that top 7 of the FNB Premiership still stand a chance to win this year's honours.
One is, which one is at Summit?
Yeah, it's still Tafi. Kasongo boys are still leading the table, yes.
Listen, it's Tafi. The second one is
Galaxy.
It is Galaxy.
Then GU.
And then Gaborone United.
And Rollers.
And then Township Rollers.
Those
42 points.
Let's talk about these 4. You see, in these 4 teams, only 2 they look to be consistent in what they are doing.
Which one are those? Tafik and who?
That is Joining Galaxy and that is Tafik.
So Township Rollers inconsistent.
Inconsistency.
What are you saying about Abdelaziz? Are you also sharing the same sentiment with supporters who say it's time?
And for Township Rollers, it has been a blow. The big players are not there. Like Shonalo Changela, injury for a year now. Brakale is not there. You see, they need these guys back. So that they can have something out of nothing.
I don't know what Township Rollers needs, because are not there. They need them back. They are back into the squad.
Consistent in terms of picking the squad. Players like Opapama Babilo benching, Muralibella Cancer, today Umo benching, Uralibella, Mosha, Samikiswa, mobile field, whatever, Hormone stabilize and TV. And I don't like Papa made us now 10 second half. I know that sub in my delay. But Township Rollers only Ben. At that time, what are 5 years is already 2 goals ahead. Mora King, Catholic Songo, Aziricata Piro, Mogam Salamara, wow, Timel.
And that is a problem that coaches have. When they try to rotate the squad, the inconsistency will always cause pain for the team. And coaches, they take too long to see that. Now, that's where now the analysis come in. You see, now they need to sit down as the management now and analyze the performance and see where they're getting it wrong. And time is now, because we get into the end.
This is the second round. The most second rounding. Only 8 games to go.
Me, that unity in that technical team. There's When over the weekend, Coach Abdelaziz was not there to do the interviews. It was Coach Innocent Morapeli who was doing the interviews. And I'm asking myself if everything is okay with that technical team where there's also Wilshire Sabo as well as Coach Abdelaziz as the head coach, then the first assistant coach being Innocent Morapedi. There's Wilshire Sabo. So much experience in these two coaches, but they are talking about inconsistency.
That looks like a good team, a good management team, and Muluba is there as well. Is part of that. You can see now they have legendary player there who knows so much about the team, who can help these coaches to know what they are supposed to do with these players. You know, it is always difficult to deal with big teams when I go. It is really difficult to deal with them. But in such instances where you see Garitimia collapse and the inconsistencies, is it the payments? Are they getting?
Ke batla gore ke riane ke re ke batla go dwela tamo township rollers as ka tsa the shine away from Suwa.
Yes.
Suwa did very well. Remember what they beat township rollers they did it again today. Mo gore Suwa has got that thing e le gore e kgona gore e diragatse against township rollers. Looking at Lene where Kavazovic comes from township rollers, one has coached township rollers. Suwa le one ke team e le gore e kitele se bua gore le bone the championship ba e bata if not the top 4 le bone ba ipata gore go godimo go mo gore Suwa are doing something well, and o re lebela di goals ba di borileng, they scored them, what would say, against the run of play. We get what township rollers ne la match. And Kavazovic, he said it, useless ball possession.
Yes.
Useless ball possession. Mo gora gore Suwa ene itile ka play. The plan was to get the goals. They got 2 chances and they buried them. Township Rollers had so many chances they couldn't score. At the end of the day, they lose the game. Number 4 from the summit. Number 4.
I'm looking at today's, or rather yesterday's game against Suwa Flamingos, how they conceded those goals. It was Rati Simadi who was at the end of every cross that was brought in by Samuel Makoro, and they were using width. They were unable to deal with Samuel Makoro coming from the wide areas. All the crosses that he brought in, it was Serati Simadi who was at the end of it getting the 2 goals for Suwa Flamingos.
It looked like a plain Yaga. But for me, I think you look at the two big centre backs at Township Rollers. They were supposed to be able to deal with those crosses, all of them. And I think it's because our level at Township Rollers, they're not versatile this time around. We know what we right back high step, they're playing good fullback. They push them high, and then from there, bad team. If there are no pockets, if Sola Meboy is not on tune, nothing is going to happen. If Totongele is not on tune, nothing is going to happen. But those are the players that should be helping Township Rollers in tough times like this. And I believe with time, they are going to have to restructure the whole team next season. Toto is aging. All of those players that are aging, most of them.
Yes.
They need a new crop,
fresh blood,
and they need a new perspective. You're talking about Suwa. They've got good management as well. The goalkeeper coach, man, part of Zebras. Let's talk about the man who's there to keep up with the intensity and the endurance of the players, keeping the players fit. He was at Gaborone United, the physical trainer.
Right.
We all know him. He's doing a good job. And you see, if like I was saying earlier, if the coaches, they bring the right people to work with them, this is what you get, the good results, positive results, and then you are able to move with...
Right. Suwa Flamingos getting 4 points from Township Rollers. If you remember very well, in the first leg on the first round of the FNB Premiership, they played to a 0-0 draw, that is in Suwa. So this time around, Nikola Kavasovic getting 3 points against his former side, Township Rollers. Going to have to move into Mochudi Centre Chiefs as well as Tafi game, because there are a lot of talking points there. And you're going to start with this incident where we saw offside call, and there were a lot of questions whether that was an offside or not. I want us to take a look at that ball as well as to determine whether it was offside or not, because Benson Mangolo in this ball plays the ball forward to Tatayone, or rather Resaubaka Tatanyani, who was later rather ruled offside after scoring that particular goal. Let's take a look at this goal, whether it was offside or not offside. What's your take, Zeni, as we take a look? Good bit of play from Mochudi Centre Chiefs. The player able to go through or past the players. And here, Benson Mangolo, the last touch.
Nna ke lebella ke tabora ke ga se offside o ya o lebile ka hane go ta bua ka teng o re lebella gore ene ha kana bolo le ya go ena Mangolo bona re tsama go kae o lebella ka gore gona le player engwe ka go teng ka go le gone ha na tsama teng o na tsama ha kae mme o re lebella. If you call it an offside, then it will be very, very marginal. Na ka ke lebella ka teng wala ka re ke bolo le tsama sentle ka gore ha o ra lebella le yone ka hane makile ka teng yone Centre Chiefs tota yone tafi uta le mo gore ne ba ithara go tshwere dipalo tsa bone sentle ba tshwere line ya bone sentle. It's only that ball ile ha e bua yana e ithara gore monno le o na ta le mo ra he was on movement go gore go nna motho go ra go ga re ke tsa re butile linesman ya ka gore o na sa ta le mo motion go ra gore o hita ba santse ba eme bolo e tsile mo tseleng ga ke dumele gore bolo ile ga e emella o na le offside.
I want us to play it once again. Re lebe lesson there tlhomile matlo re bona gore a me kana go ene bolo e tshampiwa ka teng
o mo lebele kwa tshwanteng the player o go rambo.
Yes. He's still on side.
But
by the time
continue run.
This is when the ball was released by Benson Mangolo. What's your take? The lineman is correctly positioned as he is in line with the last line of play or the last defender.
The three red shirts, those are there. Those two at the back there.
Who's closer to the 18 area between Resaubaka Tatanyani and the defender who is in the middle there inside the D line?
I think for me it's tight. It's tight. I think if really different angle for me, is different. But from where I was sitting yesterday evening, I thought it was not an offside. But from here now, I think it's tight. But for me, let's forget about this offside. Let's talk.
We'll get to the tactics and trends. I want us to clear everything because there was a question of whether there was an offside or not.
It's okay. Here's a different angle.
We're gonna have to take this angle because I said the linesman was correctly positioned.
Yes,
this is what I mean.
Yeah.
He was in line with the last defender. This is the right man to rely on because he's correctly positioned. He can give us a good verdict from here because whether he was ahead of the last defender or on side. But according to
now he obscures our side now.
Yes.
Because now on this angle, so we will rely on him or he will give the right decision.
There's a player ahead of the last defender, and that player did not play the ball. So bunzi babathune bare na again na offside.
But he did not.
No. Like Tseni saying, I don't want to this line when that's why it's too tight. If Homer Carnale England different, Homora we can offside just if
I think a lot of us were confused what that pass whether to that player onale offside or unata arana onale on motion. I think that's where the confusion was. Where was that pass going to? And higher well, na highway that guy was not offside and it was supposed to stand this goal.
So this goal was supposed to stand according to you, Zeni. I want us to clear this. It is not an offense to be in an offside position. Number one, yes. That is what the law says when it comes to offside. So unless you are involved in active play, so the player who was ahead of the play when the ball was played was in an offside position. But when the ball was played, he was not involved in active play. That is when Resaubaka Tatanyani made the run. And that's when the referee or the linesman signaled for offside. So
but did you check the referee? Did he look at the linesman when he was running? I think he had a clear view.
The referee?
He could see the line.
No, the referee can't have a clear view when he's...
No,
he shouldn't be calling offside.
Yeah.
For his lineman. You know, these referees, Baba Mohar, given Baba the final decision. Sometimes This guy is too late. That trained for this thing. That trained if the intensity is too high. I've seen that happening before, when the lineman was too late for the incident. He did not call it.
Against Algeria.
You see, such things they do happen.
Gentlemen, what are you saying? Offside or no offside?
For me, it's too tight.
And now I'd say
What is too tight?
Now I'd say it's not an offside.
It's not an offside.
I would say that, yeah.
Offside
And remember, this was supposed to be a third goal.
yes, this was supposed to be
The winning goal,
for
yeah,
Mochudi Centre
Mochudi
Chiefs.
Centre Chiefs.
And-
Turning point, huh?
Yes, yeah, it was.
And I know Coach Piro is looking at this and saying it was not offside because after the game, he it's offside.
Yeah.
You want the reaction now?
Our offside can as offside.
Morena. So I won't it's too tight for me to call it.
It's too tight for you to call it.
Hey.
You know what? I would give it to the linesman to say,
We
rely
on
on
him. Yes.
right. You gotta have to,
Tonalin.
yes. You gotta have to move on and take a look at another incident that happened in that match, and it was immediately after this particular one, and this time around it was Benson Mangolo who were in action that is in this ball. And what happened here is that there was
That's the penalty.
incident, and the referees pointed to the sport. And here we see who's being fouled in this box, in this incident. It is Shadikong who is getting fouled by Tatayaone. In this instance, a free kick was given, but rather a penalty was given, converted to by Ronald Fortune. What's your take on this particular incident? Was it a penalty or no penalty?
It's a clear penalty. You see why we are here this evening, Kasaroba. Look at this contact.
It's inside the box.
It's inside
From
the box.
behind. He didn't get in contact with the ball. He just contacted the man. And it's a penalty. I would give it a penalty. Why did he play?
He played the man.
The man. He played the man. And it's inside the box. Hey.
He played Shariko.
So the impact was enough to call a penalty.
Yes, it was. It was.
So you both agree that it was a penalty. Well, it is inside the box. There's contact. The contact impeded the player who was in control of the ball. He goes down. The referee points to the sports. Penalty.
Yes.
And also, why did he have to play it like that? The man was covered. He was facing away from the goals. Did he have to play him like that?
Right.
Hey.
Right. There we have it. The penalty one, and Ronald converting that one, but good delivery there by Benson Mangolo. We're going to have to move on and take a look at another incident where a lot happened really in this match. Another incident that led to an injury. And this time around, Ribona Jalo and stop person is Tafik Bakhanore. But in the box side 18, well, Tafik were able to defend well in this incident, but the player, Ukobetsi, is outside. He rolls back into play, and rather the field. Fortune Ronald says it's time wasting. The referee comes in, those squabbles. Yes, then there was this incident.
Yes.
Look at that.
Look at that bottle. And it was not that. It was not only that bottle. There's been several missiles. Before that was the third one. We don't really need them in our football at this point. So that we should have overgrown these things.
We don't condone such behaviors, but for a player, he rolls back into play. Ronald o batla gore a mo gogele ko ntle ke gona ha ile gore yaanong di khotla di tsoga teng gone. What's your take on that?
This is a category A game. This is what we call dark arts. You know what la shota now. You have to roll back into the field.
Delaying tactics.
Hey, delaying tactics.
Yeah.
And you're having something at that moment. They were leading. I remember they were leading at that moment.
So
you
what
need
is
to go back inside.
So Ronald Fortune, stay away.
Ronaldo should stay away.
We play a yellow card on that.
He doesn't yellow card.
Yeah.
I don't know who something go hammer to
And there is our culprit.
Yes.
Ushered out.
And big shout out to Rema Melody, because he was up and down. He went on and tried to locate this man. Money, handed him to the police. We'll get to hear from Botswana Football Association for League whenever this particular man. The intention was to harm traffic players. In this instance,
Unfortunately,
it went.
you had your own.
But then you can't say you had your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are uncalled for.
I gave Centre Chiefs.
Definitely.
Yeah. Was proper system way.
Not happy with the situation. Those are uncalled for. Those are not football now.
Yeah.
We retweaka taribeka se sa rona retweaka se to se ka se tona.
Sengwe se se leng teng ke goreng this is I think this is the second incident when le balelo nele in the Mochudi Centre Chiefs really uncalled for. I don't know if it's the pitch that is not suitable for this team, or is the supporters that are not behaving well.
I think it's the supporters, because if you remember very well what happened in Lubatse, well, they were playing against the Extension Gunners by then. There was a lot of exchanges, but it brings us back to whenever stadium was when it's this category A games, looking at the fact that at some point, 5 minutes before, or 10 minutes, or even 15 minutes before halftime, crowd in the stadium, and the gates were closed by then to say the numbers that we have inside the stadium are enough. And and I took my time to go outside the stadium. Yes, that was said by the chief executive officer. Took a decision to close the gate
for safety.
For safety, but
now here's the problem. You're talking about safety. Why the ticket in the
After Mokwalo o ring, no tickets will be sold at the venue. And go mo go iragala gantsi with our BFL gantsi go iragala gantsi ke kana Mokwalo o ba o kwadile ba kwala about this game o ba o kwadile o no tlhalosa jalo gore no tickets will be sold at the venue. And somebody said it, among the journalists said, this has been happening, this writing has been going on, all the press releases itakayone this tagline, but always the tickets are being sold at the venue. Mo gona gore ha stola ya ra sepe ano ha lo ba tona ba e kwala e be sa follow iwi bo gona go diragala hela ha ile gore ba dumela na gore sentse gore ska tsa rekiwa go ni a di eme go no go be go itse gore batho ba gape. I think the other problem ira na mo tsane gore screening ya rona e dira at the gate. We should start screening from far away. Ire ha o tsena go gate be re ke ba ba leteletse go tsena hela lo rona se re ba screen from far. Then the tarba screen up until we gating. We give it a go tsaya ticket motho a tsena. Let's really show the number. The number to the khaole before the gate, way before the gate.
Right. And a lot happened. The bane ba setse ano ba kumula gate ile gore ba ba ipulela, and never has about the situation is getting worse and
remember, people went to Mahazi, by Spain, by South Africa, by benchmark. There was a course happening just recently go Francistown, safety. But then we still get this incident.
And if we do safeguarding such things.
Well, I took some time to just leave the match because it was a pulsating encounter. But I had to go outside, and sengwe se ne sa nkgakgamatsa ke go bona gore batho ba ne ba tletse go ntle bone bao ba ne go tinyalo na nna go ne ba tshwere tsone di-tickets that match.
You see now.
So
you see now.
Something needs to be done. Yes, we don't have the stadiums, but hey.
I think we could have long learned the game. You remember the game Kaburo United against Township Rollers?
Royal Area.
Yes.
You remember what happened?
Yeah.
We could have learned from there.
Well,
we never learn.
Let's move on. Let's move on. We gotta have to talk about the talking points from this particular match and the goals that were scored in this game. And this time around, we gotta start with the first goal. Just at the hour mark, Tafik breaks the deadlock, and it was through Shanganani Sporo Ngada who break the deadlock for Tafik. Let's take a look at that goal as to how it also started. Joseph with a throw in. It comes in. Shadikon gets fouled by Tatanyani here. He goes down. Free kick given. A yellow card as well is given. And this is where the goal, yes, Papa Sonesa Tafik idulente.
Because ha o lebella ka kwe e tswang teng kana that is kwe e tswang teng but go goriwa ga yone e tswa go goriwa ko the far go the
yes
Joseph the far angle go ra mo go rang gore mongwe na robetse ka kwa mongwe na dimile tshwene marapo ka ko mojeng ka kwa and monno ke le mo ga gore ke motshameko mojeng mo stopisa Centre Chiefs yo ke Jackson Lesore ke tsa gore ke ena na ona itebala gone ka gore bolo e tswa go goriwa gone
unable to clear the lines that is the captain in Zulu. And it gets back to Tafik. Mo ile gore go resultile mo that foul mo go Shadikong free kick ya beiwa. Take us through some of the coaching points from that.
I think before I even go there, earlier I heard Coach Piro. He was talking about dealing with throw-ins.
Yeah.
And there's a throw-in. They failed to deal with the first phase of play from the throw-in, the second phase of play, the third phase of play is a foul.
Yeah.
Which means they failed. And they got scored.
They considered free kick.
They considered through the free kick, which caused concern for the player. Were they really ready for intensity and nature? Because how from the start of the game you could see Tafik took the game to Centre Chiefs. But that tempo, and Centre Chiefs failed to play their football where it's in the carpet football. They were not able to connect. And I think if you can pause it, if you can stop it, look at the numbers, look at the shape, look at the back line there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine. Now even the line of 4 there, two middle fielders are there. It's fine. They look like they can deal with the situation, but still they fail to deal with the situation.
Yes. And as it continues, that ball, aerial ball, is an Ajalomo boxing. They are unable also to clear the lines at the back. Then, as you can see from here,
Coach Makwengo, people they just converged at the back, but they did not compact.
Yeah.
Go ba ile o ira phuthi go morago kwa e ba sa maki go go ile go bokana hela mme a go a maki bona gore bolo ile ka hewelang ka teng ire go gona ba le ka e beilwe ka teng you would say e practice from training e dile ba ka nyeditswe ruri and then they converted
right. On the 62nd minute, that is just 2 minutes after this goal.
From the restart.
Yes, from the restart of this particular goal. And Tatayone Ngwapa doubled the lead for Tafik. And it was the second goal that was scored immediately after this goal. It says they're thinking about getting an equalizer.
Ke batla gore ke re lebella gape yone that flank gape go ntse go burua kae same position go go burua di gape ke tsa gore ba le ba etse thoko gore Jackson ke motho o tsamaya wa shaga ke motho o palama ile ka bolo rena ba palama a tsamaya le yone bone ha ba tsa bolo ba e ba go nitu ha ntse tsa re recover ba e ba go go position ya gago monno le ene o mo emetse o emegela senta ba tsa bolo convert ka gore o na ntse itse gore monno wa go ta late because ha o re lebella ka no bua ya ka coach yana bua o ta lemoga gore o ta tsa ba makile senta. But the thing is, how are they? Look at the numbers: 5 against 3. Right. And look at that.
We want us to take us through some of the coaching points from this goal, Gadzo. You've talked about a second phase of play that just putting the ball forward, and Tafik wins the ball. They come back with it, transition until back of the net.
There's something interesting. If
look at here.
Look at this ball here.
Forward.
A long ball is being played. Tafik is winning the ball. A long ball is being played. Look at pause it there. Pause it if you can stop it there. Look at the numbers again.
Yeah.
This is 5 against 3. Look at that play.
He's already signaling to say play it wide.
Play it wide. But he's within pressure. He cannot receive the ball inside the pressure zone. He's inside the pressure zone. He's showing his teammate to play him the ball out of the pressure zone. And then look at that guy there. He's not even checking what's happening from his blind side. But then the ball is played.
He pulls away the central defender.
Again, I'm talking about the player.
Yeah.
What is he doing? Jackson is coming late again.
And then it's a goal. 2 goals in 2 minutes.
Well, lack of tracking, lack of
Kasolo was
scanning
well ahead.
from this goal that is Mochudi Centre Chiefs. But something happened.
And then before you even go there, it is only happening because I was saying, I told you off air, like, you see lots of long balls, they stretch play. And that long ball has made this team to stretch vertical. So now they cannot deal with that. And you hear the coach as well.
He said
knew.
that.
He said it.
He said that.
Yeah.
But if you say it, deal with it.
So there are a lot of spaces to exploit because of the distances between the lines.
Yes.
Right. Let's now move on because immediately after this goal, Coach Biro reacted and he said, "What? You know what? I need to make subs. Tactical subs." And this time around, he says it was the 81st minute of this encounter. He now brings in Kumaitile Kufigwa alongside Diramoloi and taking out Ronald Fortune as well as Ernest. And I want us to highlight something. Coach's influence, knowing which players to bring into the game to change the complexion of the game. Diramoloi comes into this encounter and provide an assist, as you can see from there. And there he is, but you gotta find him.
So ka mo se mo manyetsang gore why would he be tying his shoes inside the pitch? You can fault him for that. But at the same time, it's a delaying tactic.
Is it
Now
delaying
this
tactic?
player in front of him, wa relax
And that player is Luamba.
Yes.
Yes.
And
I
Yeah.
think if I remember very well, that ball he played. He was part of the build-up of that.
yeah, he
He
was.
played it, then he goes down
He
to
played
the,
it
Ke
and
na
he goes
isang kwa
down.
ba bo
And then he
hadithabo.
goes
Yes.
down.
yeah. There he is now, Diramoloi, providing the assist. Jackson Lesone at the end of that ball,
Redeeming
back
himself.
into the back of the net. Yeah,
And it was 2-2. This was the second goal.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Missile.
there is another missile. You see another missile into the pitch.
I want you guys to take us through some of the coaching points from this ball. And you mentioned Luamba not tracking Diramoloi,
Yeah,
who comes late and into the box and sells a dummy that pass to Jackson Lesoi.
Yes. From where Dirang is down, and now there's this space hole. And Dirang is coming late to that hole. No one is dealing with that. If you could just wait a moment.
Yeah.
I want you to see something before I say something.
There is Kumoizile Gufio Diramoloi.
There's Diramoloi.
Yeah.
Here, if we had a different angle, you would see that the structure of the team was fine. The structure of the team was fine. And now the ball is being played wide. The ball is being played wide to the right side.
They shift and
They
squeeze.
shift and squeeze.
Yeah.
They are moving nicely. Can you see them? If you pause it there, you
Right.
see there is the two midfielders. This guy is a striker who is here again.
Yes.
That's
And
Luamba.
I think this is Luamba.
Yes.
And then, wow, there's a defender who failed to deal with that ball by the byline. He failed to deal with that ball.
Right.
There you see,
Bona dirang heta Luamba.
Dirang Heta Luamba. Now, I always talk about players willing to help each other, players suffocating each for in the game for each other. Now, Luamba, he can see him.
Yeah. There's Dirang who hit Luamba.
He's going to do what? He's going to fake a shot and give a pass.
Yeah.
Assist.
And Jackson had all the time. Ya go khata aba pick spot.
No one is pressing. No,
No one is
speaking.
pressing.
And but the
Inside the
goalkeeper,
box.
Zeni, I mean, the goalkeeper, you
I
can't
thought the
parry
goalkeeper should have dealt with that ball better. The way I think he parried it into the way into the danger area.
Yes.
I thought he was in a position to at least go tshwara ka bantsa e tswere o nka ba iteile mo le gore ka be ne ile khakala bona le gore ba e ba ha e bile nteng kana he just played it mo tseleng ya ga dira and dirang aba I damia nicely because le bona ba mo
Look at this thing. Look at this thing.
bona ga
Let's
itla ka
cross.
tembo
This player has time and space.
But
Let's talk about
Yeah.
that cross. Let's call it a first phase of play. That cross. That's from that cross. The keeper is dealing with the ball. Who's dealing with the second ball?
yes
No one.
the second
No
ball
one.
yeah
Still again, the person who's collecting the second ball, he has time and space again.
no one is pressing to take away
No
the
one
time
is-
and space.
Again. What's that happening? Inside the box.
Right.
We need to at least cause chaos. Check it wherever you're looking at.
and no bua and au bua ka sa boele wa utsara no go ntshiwa bo NST le bo fortune
Yes.
o re lebela go tsengwa makufi bua le dirang ke bo mama batho ba mabutswa pele and they are already trailing 2-0 go ntshiwa mabutswa go tsengwa mabutswa pele and you know how they will deal with they know how to deal with a game in ntse ka seemo se sentse ka tseleng tsana kufi bua le dirang ke mabutswa pele le gore ba go dira se se le gore se pharologanyo and indeed it
Right.
paid off.
Diram Moloi coming from the bench and assisting Jackson Lesole to get, or rather to force a 2-2 draw against Tafik, who scored the 2 goals in the second half. And Tafik, rather Mochudi Centre Chiefs, were able to respond immediately with those 2 goals. Seeing the coach's influence in this particular encounter, where Diram, rather Ponso Moloi, were sitting at the bench, knowing which players to bring into the match and influence the complexion or the outcomes of the match. So that is the situation that we've seen from this particular encounter. We're going to have to take a short break. When we return, we take a look at the top 4 as well as the last remaining games for these top 4 teams that are sitting at 42 points, as well as what we can expect that is in the next game, or rather coming games. Let's take a break. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us right here on Monday Live. Before we can even take a look at the top 4 teams as well as their last remaining encounters, let's take a look at the Gaborone United game as well as Security System, which also had so much impact in terms of the top 4 sports that we are talking about right here. Gaborone United were able to win by 2-0 against Security Systems in that encounter. Coach influence also came to the picture in this game. Thabo Maponda coming from the bench, scoring for Gaborone United as well as Michael Ding. The first goal for Gaborone United came through the substitute Thabo Maponda. As we take a look at the highlights of this particular goal, where it started. Here is the goal, how it started, and it starts from midway line, and they are able to go through that defense as security system. What is security systems not doing right? Tseni o lebeletse this ball kind of gore tsamaya nna ka teng.
How you ba lebella ha o ta tsa gore ba magile sente kana ba lebe ga ikete ba dipalo tsa bona ba tsile ka dipalo tse di siameng tse re ba ka dila le problem mo ne problem ne be nna gore ga ba maka man to man. Look at this goal go bontsha re monno o na le nosi go re le ebile e mo khupile hela ba re le wisa, but at the end of the day it's a goal, it counts ebile ira impact mo matching na sa makiwa o na eme a le nosi e wetse mo go ene just because there was nobody go ba bale ene bo gora gore e thamalla go nneteng ebile goalkeeper ka le na se sho gore go ira kana ka bolo le ka gore le yona it's not like a well played ball by GU. It's only that defense ya systems ya le yona ka wona they were caught napping this incident.
Right. A cross is brought in by Domingos here. That is the width, and Michael Ding is not doing enough to take away the space and time. It gets inside the box. Controls, have all this time and space, and that is
look at that line of defense.
right.
Pressure
Ditsile there also, no one is pressing him. He has all the time and space to take a shot. And also, you should look at Maponda. No one is tracking. They are not open stance. They cannot see him from behind.
And for me, for Township, I think Township rules
Yeah.
For you.
for GU. GU, there's good. There's what we expect in the attacking third. We need players to be aggressive. We need players to combine. We need players to go wide if there's no spaces in front of them. We need crosses inside. We need players to go inside the box. And then in this situation, that's what is happening. You see.
They are unable to clear the lines.
They combine.
Michael Tinye, you should be taking away the space and time.
Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers inside the box. And this is how you get a goal.
The one of what go that player. Yes, and Thabo Maponda. We pitela le neto Thabo Maponda Mudimu. We pitela gore bolo ele ya Muthula and finds the bank of the net. He just opens up the body.
Yes.
No, it's all about reading the next action.
Being at the right place at the right time.
So I am Muthula borra.
He anticipated there. He was
The way he opened his body, but then he did
yes,
something.
Let's talk about Michael Tinye in this situation because he should be doing enough for closer Domingos, and the ball goes the other side, and actor as centre back. He could have helped in that situation, maybe to try to block Thabo Maponda. Yes. And you'll see from another goal, Michael Tinye, a switch off moments in other moments of the game. He's now ball watching, part of the play, the teammates later or earlier on. You talk about players who help each other. Let's go to that goal. He has to pass United. It's in a thing, and Simola Juaneja starts from a throw in. Michael Tinye tries to defend. Taptayone Kamanyani picks up the ball, and is that man who is giving United the focal point and Thabo Maponda. Look at him again. He's setting, if that ball, Hongwei Ikabe. That is Tataone Kamanyani Ukopili. It can be offside, but then
Michael T.
We defensively we work as a unit. First component, 1v1, how before the cross again. He's not putting pressure. The ball is being played to that side. Why I am on now? You need to step with Lainarao. You like now. If Timmy step, why is Salakomara? He was not there. He was not in the game. I always talk about players. They have to be in the moment all the time. He has to be in the moment. He has to read what is going to happen next.
But are the two centre backs picking well in that situation?
After this throw, what
about
to clear the lines? You see from the throw, he could have been aggressive going towards the box.
Yes.
What are we protecting? We are protecting the goal post.
The target.
What is he doing wide?
And that is
it's very poor for a team. It's on a security system. Remember, security system in the for the past seasons against Gaborone United. Limo Cup, Orange FA Cup. You remember the final? They've been doing very well against Gaborone United. But of recent, they are I think
they've dropped the ball.
They're having a problem. The players, they don't have the energy. The players, they don't look motivated. The players, I don't know why they seem to be lost. And even the coach, I don't know. I don't know what is happening there.
Well, we tried in terms of trying to go all out and bring you some of the games that were played over the weekend. Another game that was played on Friday, it was between Flamingo Santos as well as VTM FC. VTM FC were able to get the maximum points, 3 goals and 3 points. It was Thabang Watlala with the brace as well as Kesaobaka Ramotswedi with another goal to ensure that VTM FC walks away with the maximum points. Here are some of the goals that came through from that particular match. The second goal that came through Thabang Watlala for VTM FC, as well as the third goal for this particular team, that is VTM FC, getting the maximum points, as you can see on your screens there. Good build-up play from Stopasonese's VTM FC, but you can see there, they're pressing them high and able to win the ball right there. And what they do from after winning that ball is they do everything forward and get the goal.
It's counter-pressing.
Yes.
Counter-pressing works this way. You press high so that you get nearer to the goal post. And the turnover right there, obviously you are close to the goal post. You can even, just 2-3 passes, you're inside the box, you're going to score. Mm-hmm. That's what you get from the counter.
Right. There was also the mini derby that was played at Galaxy Stadium. It was between Joining Galaxy as well as Orapa United. Both teams sharing the sports in a 1-all draw.
Usual?
Yes, usual.
As usual.
It happened. This was the 8th meeting between the two sides. And if you remember very well, in the first installment of the FNB Premiership 2024-25 season, they played the same scoreline, that is 1-all draw. But in the 8 meetings when the two sides played each other, 4 of those meetings, it was won by Joining Galaxy, and 3 of them, it was ended in a draw, and only one won by Stopasonesa Orapa United. You can see Joining Galaxy continues dominating Stopasonesa Orapa United. We gotta have to look at the top 4 teams before we round up today's show and their last remaining games. This is how the situation looked like in terms of the top 4 teams. The FNB Premiership log standings with Traffic leading the table after match day 23, 42 points, and with Joining Galaxy on position 2, same number of points, and there's Gaborone United, who have now leapfrogged, or rather propelled to a 3rd position with 42 points, with the Township Rollers rounding up the top 4 with the same number of points. I'm looking at Swa Flamingos outside the top 4 bracket, the highest scoring team so far.
Still with an outside chance? I want to, still with an outside chance of winning the championship.
And
I will say that. Look at position 7.
I would agree with you, because I had this discussion before to say Swa Flamingos, people should look out for Swa Flamingos. They might just come from behind and win this league, because you gotta take a look at the last remaining games for all these top 4 teams and the permutations going into those last 8 games. So this is how the situation looks like. Let's take a look at the last remaining games for Traffic, who are at the summit of the table. They currently occupy spot number 1 with 42 points, and Traffic are yet to play the following games. Then the next game, it is against Chadibe FC. There's also, Flamingo Santos. There's also Security Systems, Orapa United, Morupule Wanderers, as well as Extension Gunners, Nico United, and the Township Rollers game that was postponed due to heavy rainfalls.
They are already done with the other 2 teams in top 4.
Yeah.
They are done with GU, they are done with Galaxy. Or our team in top 4 the Township Rollers. Or our level at the easy pickings, the likes of Chadibe and Santos, easy low hanging fruits, them Takasamang, Abuakatson. Ghana same Rupule Nico Kissing was a Romadica Tatanya. More chance in the Traffic.
Let's take a look at Joining Galaxy, who are currently on position 2 with the same number of points, that is 42 points. Kazo Morupule Wanderers, they'll be playing Morupule Wanderers in their next game. There's also Extension Gunners, Nico United, Matebile. There's Rollers, Gaborone United, as well as VTM FC and Flamingo Santos.
Joining Galaxy ba ka ntse so se le sengwe.
Yeah.
Ba batla go hetsa ba sa hengwa ke o. Ba ka mbo ba draw o ba ile hloko. So many draws. Level number a di draw re ka ga ba batle go jiwa ba nna ba le.
Right.
And I think it's going to be very difficult. Because now it shows that they're not scoring enough. But for you to win football games, you need to score. So I think top four.
But they don't concede much. More top four, Baba conceding the goals, Baba conceded 12, whereas Baba conceded 18 and Baba conceded 18 and 19. Bonigona conceded 12,
well,
Baba 30 goals.
Best defense in the Premier League so far is at Joining Galaxy. The best attacking so far in the Premier League is at Sua Flamingos. That is very interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Right.
Because Bone Galaxy, Bassett traffic on here. You are never sitting on a top four. Tota ke ba ke yone ba hitse ka yone ba ntse ba setse ka rola santse ba setse ka GU ba sentse ba setse ba setse ka GU ba sentse ba setse le ka yone but they are done with Swale yone kana ke Swale yone ke ngwatse dithata but they are done with it le yone mo gona gore le bone they stand that chance ya gore ba ka tsamaya ba go gapa this championship.
We now take a look at Rada Gaborone United, who are currently on position 3 with the same number of points, 42 points. They are left with Orapa United, they are left with Murupule Wanderers, they are left with Extension Gunners, they are left with Nico United, Matebele FC, amongst others, joining Galaxy, the defending champions, Township Rollers, amongst others. There's also Chadibe FC, who are in the mix in terms of the last 8 for Gaborone United. Do they stand a chance?
It's going to be a difficult task.
Which ones are going to be difficult for Gaborone United?
All of the teams except Chadibe.
Yes.
Even Gunners is very stubborn currently.
Yeah.
You can't beat Gunners currently.
Nico United.
For the first time this season, for the first time after so many years, we saw them beating Orapa. You remember? Huh?
And getting a draw against Mochudi Centre Chiefs.
And what this is the second round and we are the countdown is like intensifying. The likes of Matebele have gonna motho ba libile gona gore relegation bone le Nico United kana le bone they are not safe where they are. They will want to pick points gore ba ikatumetse go godimo ka gore ka di tsa maka te gompieno ha di teams tse di tsana bo Ghana se di bina ka di bina jana o Chadibe ha ba ka thanya ha ba thanyang teng ka gore le bone ke do or die ba thamola ba tiba ka le bo gonna dingala gore go tsama go nna thata mo go ji gore ya bogolo jantsi rile inconsistency ene coach ya bua ka yone ka ha gore ingwe do se di tsama di ke thaletsa GU tiro mo nakong ya gompieno.
Hey, let's take a look at Township Rollers because wow, for Township Rollers it's a different story. Here are the remaining 8 games for Township Rollers. Nico United, there's also Mochudi Centre Chiefs. There's also Matebele FC, Chadibe FC, and defending champions joining Galaxy, and Flamingo Santos, amongst others. There's also Gaborone United, the Gaborone Derby is in the mix. There's also
Kasongo himself.
Stubborn. Kasongo.
Yeah.
Tafi.
Gaborone United. Top 4 youth. But the top 4 is my receive.
Galaxy. Yes. Yeah. That is for Township Rollers.
Yes. Yeah.
But do they have the right players to win all of these games?
Township Rollers.
Gaborone United.
I mean, you're talking about Township Rollers.
Yeah, Township Rollers.
That's the last 8 for Township Rollers.
Yes, yeah.
So they're remaining with Gaborone United joining Galaxy, Centre Chiefs, as well as Traffic amongst the teams. It's the 8
if they deal with what's happening, if they can deal with that, believe me, because I remember very well in the beginning of the season, one of the things that they want this season is to play CAF or Confed. So now you need to be there.
Because they have not played CAF games in a long time. Township Plus. Remember how well they played Banale Kavazovic, and since that time they have not been playing CAF. And also I level like when I'm top 4. But I remember Baba go in the city. They go to Sasa Mongolimu. Baba go to a city in Mongolimu. Top 4. Mongore live on a chance. Very slim, but yeah. Mathematically, they still have that chance.
We've run out of time. We're going to have to end it here. Who's winning the league in just 5 seconds? Zeni, who's winning the league?
I would give it to Galaxy once again.
Galaxy? Who's winning the league?
But no,
hey, who's winning the league?
We'll talk about that off air, man. Thank you.
Well, I said Sua Flamingos is winning the league. Everybody unopenga wapeka so we will see how it pans out going into the last 8 games of the FNB Premiership and those teams that will relegate. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Monday Live. We'll try by all means to get all the games that we played over the weekend for you and try to dissect them and try to also bring you some of the incidents. I mean, offside. I mean, penalty. Why red card? Why yellow card? We'll also try to bring experts into this show to try to help us dissect those situations. This is Monday Live. Thank you so much for being a part of history. Until we meet again in the next edition of Monday Live. Good night.